Welcome to the She Speaks to Inspire podcast. I'm your host, Julia Kraft, your authentic expression mentor and public speaking coach. She Speaks to Inspire is an empowering public speaking podcast for women with public speaking fear. Unlike other podcasts on public speaking, She Speaks to Inspire not only gives you tips to be a confident communicator under pressure, but also helps you regulate your nervous system for less anxiety, learn lifestyle practices to reduce burnout and overwhelm, and reconnect with your feminine leadership presence for more authenticity and comfort in your skin. I believe it's the quiet ones, especially the quiet women, who have the most important ideas. I believe the world really does need your voice. So let's dive in. Have you ever said to yourself, I've got to get it right. I should be good at this. I need to be better at this. I need to master this. It needs to be perfect. Because I hear these things from women all the time when they talk about their goals around public speaking. I want to be a perfect speaker. I really want to perfect my speaking skills. I need to master communication skills. Do these sound familiar? Those are the things I hear. And underneath all of these statements is a mindset of perfectionism. Disclaimer, we all have perfectionism, but I think it's important to put the spotlight on this unconscious habit and bring it to the forefront to our conscious mind so that we can be more comfortable, at ease, relaxed, and confident. So today we're talking about why you want to be perfect. Welcome back to the She Speaks to Inspire podcast. I'm your host, Julia Kraft. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the show so you get updates when the new episodes post. And if you haven't already and you're really liking the podcast, it would mean the world to me if you could take a moment to write a review that would help other women find this work. What is perfectionism? I see it as an unattainable standard that you have for yourself. It's important to clarify that that standard is coming from the inside out, not from the outside in. We'll talk about it in a second, but one of the reasons why you might be perfectionistic is some of the messages you received early in your life, some of the responses that you got from caregivers, teachers, say if any memories come up for you. But still, as an adult woman, the standard that you're holding yourself to is your own. So take responsibility for that, right? And so it's an unattainable standard that you have for yourself. And that means that it's forever out of reach. Always this sense that I should be better, it's not good enough, others are better, which means that you can never succeed. It means you are always in some way falling short or failing. This is perfectionism. Now, why would you want to be perfect? Why would you want to have this perfectionistic mindset? You see, perfectionism is fed by several things. And when I say fed, you can imagine like a monster with gnawing teeth and hair coming out of its ears, whatever your monster looks like. And this monster likes to eat self-criticism and comparisonitis. That's favorite foods. So when you are self-critical and judgmental of yourself in your own mind, that monster of perfectionism grows, is strengthened. When you have judgmental thoughts about other people, this is called comparisonitis. Whether thinking that you're better than someone else or less than, that again feeds the monster of perfectionism. I can speak to all of this, by the way, side note, because I have a lot of patterns of judgmentalness and criticism within me. They were definitely learned early in my life from my family, from my upbringing. There's no point in blaming my family. I really internalized this way of thinking and never really grew out of it, that I would be really critical of others in my own mind. I have always been assessing other people, which is one of the reasons that I'm a good coach, because I can give people feedback. But it also has made me a judgmental person and sometimes difficult to work with or collaborate with. Whew, that's hard to say, but maybe you relate to that in some way. Or maybe it's time to reflect on how your self-criticism and comparisonitis might be affecting other people around you. I also have been really critical of myself throughout my life, which has driven me to be better, which sometimes has been a wonderful thing, driven me to personal growth and self-development, but also the pressure to be better and to feel like I'm never good enough really burnt out my nervous system at times and left me fatigued. It's something that I consistently have to watch in myself, that I keep a balance. So back to you and perfectionism. The monster of perfectionism is fed by self-criticism and comparisonitis. The monster of perfectionism is challenged to a duel, kind of, by external affirmation, external praise, and acknowledgement. So you do a presentation and someone gives you really good feedback. You did so good. You'd think that would make you feel better, and it might to a certain extent. But a lot of times, if you have perfectionism running in the background, that monster of perfectionism is going to fight back and discredit the person that is trying to give you praise and affirmation and acknowledgement. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just saying that to be nice, and whatever version of yours there is. So there becomes this conflict within you. Who's right? The perfectionistic story or the people outside of me? One of the reasons that we think we want to be perfect is to please others. But I don't think that's actually true. When I think about it, when I talk to women about it, that's a surface reason. Perhaps the underlying reason why you want to be perfect is a self-survival mechanism, a protection. It's your nervous system's way of protecting you. Because what I've seen is that perfectionism, that whole pattern in the mind, that unconscious, is interrupted by self-affirmation, the practice of seeing what you're doing well already. This takes a lot of willpower at first to actually notice what you're doing well. A lot of women will say to me when I ask, so what's one thing that you did well? They'll be stumped. I don't know. I don't think I did anything well. You can start with the most simple things. I took the risk to speak. I got through my whole presentation. I didn't die. These are all things that you did well, as simple and basic as they might be. Start where you are and see if you can have at least 3 times more self-affirmation, acknowledging what you've done well, 3 times more of that than criticism. A new habit will be built over time if you can do this. Another way to disrupt the monster of perfectionism is a detachment from the outcome, an attitude of detachment. If it goes differently than I planned or hoped, it's okay. I know I'll be okay. And I want to share 2 more ways that you can disrupt the pattern of perfectionism and help yourself to unravel that feeling of surviving, getting through moments that trigger your self-criticism and comparisonitis. I recommend that you try shifting your focus from thinking, all that spinning thoughts about how you're doing, what you just did wrong, what you should have done, what people are thinking, etc. Shift your focus to feelings, to your in-the-moment experience of your body. That could be your breathing. It could be the feeling of gravity acting on your body, that sinking into the chair or heaviness in the feet. It could be the sensual movement of your mouth as you speak, or anything else that you experience in your body. And try another shift in where you put your focus. What if you put your focus while you're speaking on the audience and connection with them, instead of, again, being focused on your thinking, being up in your own head? I was working with a client this week, and we were talking about something similar to this. She does virtual speaking almost primarily. And she says when she speaks on Zoom, she always turns off all the videos or, puts aside all the videos of everyone else and her own video. And she's just sort of talking into the ethers. And I recommended that she brings the videos of all the other people in the meeting forward. She really notices their faces, responds to what she sees in them. If you can take the audience's reactions and responses as information, as opposed to judgment, information, it can inform your speaking, gets you out of your head. It's not about getting it perfect. It's about connecting with the people that are right in front of me. It's about having a communication and relationship with these people right now in this moment. I'm simply the conduit for that. All of these things, self-affirmation, detachment from the outcome, focusing on feelings and connection versus thinking, all of these things support the nervous system to feel safe, to know that you are safe. And that brings the feeling of survival way down and opens up the possibility of something beyond perfection, beyond the black and white standards that you've internalized. I invite you to experiment with this, to simply be open to the possibility that your need to be better and perfect could be the one thing that's keeping you from being a better speaker, which is sort of a catch-22 to say it that way. But I think you know what I'm trying to get at. To learn more about how to shift your focus to your in-the-moment experience and connection with the audience, as well as to work on your self-affirmation and detachment from the outcome, and much more that can help you to release perfectionism, head over to speaktoinspire.com. I recommend that you register for the free masterclass there, learn some more from me, and feel out if it's a match for you, if it matches what you're looking for. It just might be the game changer that you've been looking for, but only you can make that decision. So watch the masterclass. At the end of the masterclass, you'll learn about the Fully Expressed program, and you can decide if it's a good fit for you and I to work together. It'd be my pleasure to support you. Thanks for your presence. The world needs your voice. Thanks for listening. This has been She Speaks to Inspire with Julia Kraft, your authentic expression mentor and public speaking coach. I'm so glad you joined me, and I hope you got so much out of this episode. If you want to learn more about Speak to Inspire training programs and get inspired, head over to speaktoinspire.com or follow us on Instagram at She Speaks to Inspire. Never forget, the world needs your voice, and it's time for you to speak to inspire. See you on the next episode.